This is a short bite episode of Homeschool Together. Hello and welcome back to Homeschool Together. Thanks so much for joining us. Today we're going to be talking about a little bit of a game, a little fun little spelling game. So if you're out there and you're doing kind of all about reading or some type of, explode the code type of curriculum, maybe the first level, first year, if you're like kindergarten, first grade level, and you're looking to do a little bit of a spelling, kind of bring some fun into the act of spelling. A lot of the games we do talk a lot about math concepts, and it's very rare do we get something that's very reading based and spelling based. And today we're talking a little bit about this game that we picked up. We got kind of a generic version of it.
Yeah, I think these are called like matching letter games.
Yeah. This one's literally called matching letter.
Yeah, I don't know that they really have a specific brand associated. There's lots of different random brands on Amazon that you can find that have matching letter games. And actually, this was something that I think my parents might have gotten for our oldest for Christmas last year, when they asked what kind of games she could get that would be helpful through our homeschool.
Yep.
And we said, something with spelling would be great. And so they got this. So it's basically a tray, and it holds these cards in the back that have a picture, and then at the bottom they actually have how to spell the word. Mm-hmm. And there's 30 pictures. There's 30 cards, and there's pictures on both sides, different pictures. So there's 60 total words. There's 3 and 4 letter words, and they have the picture. And then there's these cubes. There's 8 letter cubes. So you put it into this slot in the back, the card.
You actually put, what we do is we play with all the cards stacked in one direction. So you actually can just go through the cards. You don't have to just put one in there.
Oh, perfect. So you can do all of them.
Yeah, so we would stack, like, for example, we'll do the 3-letter cards. It's a lot of CVC words. But, some of the words in there do pull in long vowel sounds with silent E. So I had to maybe kind of filter those out if you're not to that level. We are to that level, so that's not a big deal for us. And then on the backside, on the 4-letter words, we have also kind of CV, CC words, those type of things where it's one vowel, 3 consonants, but they also have silent E, long vowel sounds as well. So a nice kind of mixture of words. So if you're kind of at the end of All About Reading, level A, one that we're at, and then we're now on level 2. Level 2, I think, does silent E on like lesson 12. I think we're coming up to it. So you could kind of think about it like in the middle of the second level. You should be able to do every single word in this box.
I think it's cool because your learner has to basically look at the picture, and then like this first one they have on the front is a bowl.
Yeah.
And it would be, your learner could be like, oh, is it a cup or is it a what? They have to think of different words and then think in their head how they would spell
There's
that
a couple
word.
of them that you want to maybe, as the guy, as if you're facilitating this game, kind of like peek a little bit. There was one that was a pot. It looked like a pot, but it was a pan. And I don't know if that's just the manufacturer didn't know the difference.
Right. Some of these, definitely be there with your learner. I think that's really important. But it's kind of a fun thing because they have to determine the word for themselves and then figure out how to spell it.
And what's cool about it too, when you have all basically these dice, 6-sided dice, and I think you said there were 8 of them. The learner has to really just flip through and look for the right letters. And so there's a lot of like recognition of those letters and the right sound, and you can help them along. So we kind of played it like a game where we were trying to do as fast as possible. And so we kind of had like a clock going, okay, we got to do 10 cards. How fast can we do the 10 cards? So there's this kind of rush aspect of it. And if there was, if we got something wrong, she would get to peek for 1 second and put it back and then have to fix it. And, the funny thing with young learners is that they'll see the right answer, they'll immediately go and try to fix it, and then they'll kind of forget what they had to fix it too, right? Like, oh, is this supposed to be an O or an A? I don't know. What did it say? Oh, I can't remember, and so, we kind of we try to bring that element. And if you have to peek, you get a 10-second warning or something like that.
Yeah, that's really fun.
I counted up the thing, and we're always trying to see what was your finishing time on your thing. And it's kind of a fun way to do a spelling test in some respect. If you're doing we have the All About Reading spelling.
All About Spelling.
All About Spelling as well. And if you're doing that curriculum, this is a good one to add into there as kind of like a way to test and do additional, just practice in some respects.
One of the things I like about these is you can get it for around $10.
Oh yeah, these are super cheap.
So it's a very affordable manipulative to play. And our daughter has really gotten a lot of use out of it. And I love how you're adding like time elements and other type things to, add more spice to the game and
in some
excitement.
respects, it could be kind of a boring game. So if you don't add those type of fun elements to it, it could kind of like, oh, I'm just, spelling words, everything. If you're getting, for example, we have a Hangman game as well. And so we kind of do both of them.
Yeah.
And she has a lot of fun with the Hangman game because she's trying to like come up with words that I don't know or something like that. Or she'll like invent words and I'll have to spell them.
That's really hard.
That's really hard.
She's an unreliable
She's an
code
unreliable.
maker.
Oh my gosh, she's so unreliable. Is that, what's the, your left and your right card added together? 9. Oh, I meant 6.
Yeah. Playing code crackers with her is sometimes kind of fun.
Yeah, exactly. So this one was really fun. I've enjoyed it. It's something that I can do. There's a lot of times when I'm getting settled into homeschooling, and I think, parents who are listening to this know this experience that when you're coming into the room, they've eaten breakfast, or like in this case, a lot of times I'm putting the 3-year-old down for her nap. Yes, she still naps. And I'll tell my oldest and say, hey, go in there. I've opened up a page to the Scholastic book, or I've given you a couple math problems and whatnot. I need you to do them while I go put her down. So like I can get her warmed up while I'm not there. This is a really good example of like, okay, today we're going to do reading first. I'll pull out 10 cards, set them all up, and I'll tell her, hey, I need you to do the first 10 cards while I put sister down for nap, so that when she comes in, she's ready. She's already been getting the mind going and she's already crunching through, thinking about sounds and letters and spelling. These type of little things really help grease the skids and get things moving along the way. Because I do a lot of prep work. Right? I try to pull things out. I try to get things set up. Like tonight after we podcast, I'm going to go upstairs and pull out the next couple pages, make sure I have everything set for tomorrow, pull out the sheets for, all about reading, and I'll get prepped. It takes me 5 minutes. It's not a lot. And I'll pull out games like this. I'll pull out math games. I'll pre-write the math questions on just a sheet of paper, because I know that like I don't want to waste a lot of time. And I don't want to take away from her, quiet time or some activity or hobby that she wants to do. These games are really good for that, kind of getting that brain going, and getting these set up so she can do this on her own. And listen, if she doesn't do it 100% right, it's fine. She's just starting to get her mind working and going through it.
Well, right. And I think that's why it's helpful if she takes a look at it first, and then you come in and sit with her any that she's unsure about. Yeah. And, there is some self-correcting element, because each card, while it has a picture on it, does have the word too. So, she can guess, and then she can check herself and learn through that process too. It's a game, even though it's so simple and it is kind of generic, she asks to play this game. She really enjoys it. She enjoys the challenge of it. So we thought it was important that we at least talk about it, because it's something that we're into right now, and our daughter asks to play it each week.
What's the other game where it's like kind of you shake up a bunch of dice and you try to spell words? Is that Boggle? Yeah. So I would say this is like a pre-Boggle type of idea.
Yeah, we need to grab a copy of like Boggle Junior or something. We don't have one. But yeah, this is a good early game, and we do enjoy it, and she really likes it. So we highly recommend that you pick one up. You can check out one in the show notes. They're cheap, and I think it's a quick and easy manipulative. Thanks so much for joining us today and making us a part of your homeschool journey. Please engage with us on social media. Join our Homeschool Together podcast group on Facebook, and find us at Homeschool Together Podcast on Instagram. We'd love to hear your feedback, questions, and recommendations. Until next time,
happy homeschooling!